point, you've gotten the shape tool, you've worked with the shape tool. You've worked with the pen tool, you know how to work with that in terms of using that for straight lines by just clicking, but also by taking and doing a series of clicking and curving to get a variety of curves around there. Again, creating organic shapes, closing out shapes with that little bubble that pops up below right to the pen tool. You see that little circle that pops up? That means that that shape will now be closed. And that will give me an outline or a stroke around the entire thing. That's really important, not to work on something. What I'll do is I'm just going to fill with a color right now so that you're able to kind of see what I'm talking about. As we're going, it's going to self-fill, and sometimes people are like, oh, that's great. But then they're missing this last portion. You want to make sure that you are aware to close that in order to complete that. Okay? So, again, just a quick reminder to delete. You can go ahead and drag a box around everything. You can kind of just click and drag and hit the delete key, or click and drag on what you want, or just select individual items with your selection tool. That is the black arrow that selects an object, as opposed to the white arrow, which directly selects a point. So I can then go ahead and manipulate that point. So I want to make sure you guys are kind of in recall of those things. Those should be something in your active working memory, because you're going to need those all the time. Now for today, though, I want to show you the pen tool in a slightly different way, because this could give you some really cool shape variations as we go into our next parts of the project. So with the pen tool, you're pretty used to taking and clicking, or clicking and dragging, so that you're able to get some different kinds of shapes. And I'm going to go ahead and finish that one out. I'm going to go ahead and remove the fill. I just want to strictly have it a stroke path. So I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to come up here. Again, that's where I can change how wide that is. And I'm going to give it some width. I want to give it width because I'm going to do something a little different with it. Now, if I went to this as my pen path, and I go to my direct selection tool, I can grab an anchor point, and I can move it like we did yesterday. I can manipulate it. But that's all I can do. If I take this path, and let me undo that. If I take this path, don't forget Control Z is your friend that undoes the last actions one at a time. Shift Control Z will put it back, so you kind of have some options there. If I go into Object, Path, and I go ahead and outline that stroke, I want you to watch what's going to happen and what possibilities it opens up. You're going to go ahead and do that. You're going to see no longer do I have that single line down the middle. It almost appears as if it's a shape that we made. But this would be a little bit more of a complex shape, because we'd have to click our way all the way through and back and all the way around. This way I made that nice smooth organic line, nice smooth organic curve I should say. Now I'm going to go to my direct selection tool. I can go ahead and click on an anchor point and watch what happens. This is what's so different about this way, is that I can now manipulate that anchor point in various ways. And I could change that once beautiful smooth curve, and I can go ahead and treat it as if it's an object. So once again, I have that. I've given it width with increasing the stroke. I go up to Object, Path, and I'm going to go ahead and outline that stroke. And that's going to change it from just a simple line into an actual object. So something that has a pathway all the way around it, where I can go ahead and treat each of these anchor points in very different ways. Make sure to grab notice. If I hover, I see handles. If I hover, I see anchor. Anchor are the points that I need to move. The handles are what we move to increase or decrease the amount of curve in there. Notice again, if they get in the way, you might need to shorten it a little bit. To change it, you can pull that one out longer and shorten the other, whatever that might be. So that is another really important way that you can use this function with the pen tool and outlining the stroke to make an object. Okay? The last and final tool before you do your first mini project is going to be based upon a shaper tool. Okay? So the shaper tool you may find you may love, you may find you need some getting used to, you may find another tool or set of functions that you will find that work better for you, but I want you to know about it. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead into my ellipse tool. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself no fill, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself just a simple black outer stroke for right now. I'm also going to increase it maybe about 5 or 6 just so that you can see it really well. You don't want to have it too big right now, but again, you can change all that as we keep going. So if I grab this very first one, I'm going to go ahead and drag an oval, let's say. And I'm going to drag a series of ovals, just like this. I'm going to grab all of them by drawing a box around them. So they're all selected right now. After that, I'm then going to go to my shaper tool. And if I go to my shaper tool and I drag a line through them, I'm then going to drag a line through here. Actually, I have to go back here, select it again. I'm going to drag my line here. Hopefully that will connect. I'm having some issues there. I don't know why, but we'll go ahead and try it again. It's possible because of how that there we go. So I want to drag a line, or in this case, some kind of a curve all the way through. This now becomes one shape. That's the really cool part about that, is that now this is one shape. This shape can be manipulated. It can be filled now. I can go ahead and I can fill that with whatever color I wish. I can increase or decrease the outer stroke to it. I can also remove the outer stroke if that's what I wish to do. Okay? And you're smiling because I think you know what this is eventually going to turn into. So once again, I want to walk you through those steps. I'm going to go ahead and back Control Z many times until I'm here. A reminder, you're going to grab your direct selection tool. You're going to draw a box all the way around. So it selects all the shapes that you want to combine together. They have to be selected and no fill. They can't have any fill. It will not work if you have these filled with anything. So mine is completely transparent. That's that red knot sign. I grab my shaper tool, which is right below the shapes that we have been using. I go ahead and I just draw this sort of like curvy, funky line that went all the way through every single part. Again, notice I drew it so that it went through all of those parts. If I do it wrong, again, Control Z is my friend. I can come back, undo it, and then redo it to gather that. So now I've got one shape, which can then be taken and altered in some way, shape, or form. In this case, what I'm going to have you do, is I thought it would be kind of fun, to actually take that shape. I filled it with brown. I'm going to then go to my direct selection tool. I want to go ahead to that white arrow. I'm going to click on my path. And I'm going to go ahead and start manipulating portions of that so that I can maybe pull in, this right here. Maybe I want to pull this one out right there. Okay? Then I'm going to come in. I'm going to go ahead and change this color. I'm going to go ahead and change that. I just happen to double click right there. I'm going to change that out to white. Actually, don't do that because I had an object selected in there. Now I'm going to change it out to white because I don't have something selected. If I had something selected and I change it, it's going to change that. Notice how that functions. So that was pretty cool to watch. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab an ellipse. I'm going to pop that ellipse in. I've got my white of my eye. Now instead of dragging the second one that potentially will not match, I want you to go ahead and select that. You can go up to Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste, and you're going to leave it in place. Now notice there are keyboard shortcuts. Those are what I tend to use. Those are common keyboard shortcuts. I use them all the time, so I've memorized them. So if you don't see me do it on screen, you know that that's what I did. Control C is going to copy it, and then Edit, Paste. Control V is going to paste that other eye. You want to go ahead and make sure that you have that object grabbed. Place that accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Maybe I want the eyeballs a little closer together. Maybe that's the particular character I want. I'm going to go ahead then and create another. I'm going to go ahead and fill that one with black. Create a black. Maybe I don't want to put an outer stroke. Maybe that, oops, sorry. Maybe that gives it too much width to the eye, so you can kind of see it a little bit. A little bit bigger. I'm going to use my arrows on my keyboard for fine nudging in place. Again, I'm going to grab that guy. I'm going to Control C to copy. I'm going to Control V to paste. I'm going to grab them. Make sure you don't grab them on their anchor point, otherwise you just stretch them. I'm going to put that in place. Now the very last thing you want to do is figure out how your smile is going to happen. There are a lot of different ways to make that smile happen. A lot of different functions I want for you to kind of play around with a little bit. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and just give a white fill, and then I'm going to go ahead with a black outline. I'm going to make sure that it's not too big. I'm going to give it a 2 point. I'm going to go ahead and fold it right into there, and then I have to decide how I'm going to go ahead with that mouth. For example, I could grab another shape. I could grab another shape and put it on top of there. Cut that mouth in half, just like that. I know it looks weird, but watch. This is the magic part. Again, oh my goodness, I keep clicking off of it. I'm going to grab my selection tool, and I'm going to draw, click off of it. I'm going to grab this one and this one. So I've clicked on one, hold the shift key, clicked on the next one. I want to shift those together, so I've selected both of them. Now you're going to go into Pathfinder. So you'll go up to your window and you'll find Pathfinder. Pathfinder for me was out already, but yours will pop out. You have shape mode. This one is Unite, which is kind of putting things together. Minus the front, intersect, exclude, divide. You could put divide, but I'm going to go ahead with minus the front. You'll see once I minus the front, that front thing disappears along with anything underneath it. So I lost half of that mouth that I didn't need. And then I can actually go ahead and manipulate. Maybe I say, oh, I made the mouth too wide. I want to have a larger outer stroke, etc. I could put a little tongue in there if I want to, etc. But the goal for this is to use your shape builder. I want you to use the shape builder. How will I know? We'll be able to really tell as we start to expand these pathways and see how you built this. I want to see shape builder. I want to see that you guys have added, obviously, eyes and a mouth. Now, for an additional challenge, for those of you who find that this is actually pretty simple for you, think about how to make this more creative. For example, maybe you put a rainbow. Maybe a rainbow is coming out of its mouth. It's like keeping a rainbow. Maybe you put a tongue in its mouth. Maybe you change it from a smiley face to a frowny face. Maybe you add steam off of it. All kinds of things to kind of give it additional levels of character and expertise. So that's, again, what I want you to be doing today. I want you to go ahead and I want you to play around with adding your ellipses. Remember, no fill. You want to add the ellipses, no fill. You're going to combine them with shape builder. And then you're going to start to add things like fine details. And then you're going to be learning a little bit more about copying and pasting, as well as how do you have things that will utilize our shape builder so that you can minus out something, not have to draw it and make sure it's absolutely perfect. Use these tools to your best ability to work fast and have a good workflow.